Morning, Rotarians and guests. It's 4:30 in the morning, according to my body. So if my brain's not here, that's life. Our invocation this morning is by Liz Ramsey.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Talk in there and say yes. Say yes.
Yes? Okay, good. Well, dear Rotarians, let's bow. Ever since the invasion and war in the Ukraine began, Chris Gonzalez, a professor at Lipscomb University, wrote this prayer, and I agree. Dear God, you troubled Pharaoh in his dreams. You burdened Nebuchadnezzar in his dreams. You tormented Pilate's wife in her dreams. Speak to the Russian president in his sleep. Let him find no escape from your voice. Fill his mind with images of your justice. Torment him with the justice of your love. Give no rest to their military leaders and soldiers. Exhaust them in their dreams. Rally fear in their hearts. Confuse their minds. Complicate their efforts. Discourage their souls. Allow them to feel the full weight of the darkness of their violence. Break their tanks, scuttle their bombs, make their weapons misfire, make the wage of war they wage too expensive to pay. Invite wide a path to peace. Let innocence speak loudly. Free them to be as human as you created them to be. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Liz.
You're welcome.
And now to lead us in the pledge and the four-way test, Bill McClure.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the four-way test. Number one, is it truth? Number two, is it fair to all concerned? Number three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Number four, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Bill. And you'll notice I was so tired when I started, I forgot to introduce myself. For some of you that might have forgotten who I am, Ron Strobel, the Sergeant at Arms. I understand Rich Warfield tried to keep things under control, but I understand it might not have always been so good. So I will try to get us back to the high level that we know and love. Chris, do we have any visitors? Nope. Okay, our president, Pat Shear.
Ron, I would tell you that you have to go back and retrain Rich, but he's a Vikings fan, so he's not trainable. So, all right. Okay, our quote to start the day. Giving is not just about making a donation, it's about making a difference. Kathy Kelvin. Those of you that don't have a banana bread in your hand or sitting next to you, Emma and Casey from Service Learning are here, and they're selling those as part of their plan to help fund that van for the Afghan refugees in North Hill. So if you still haven't purchased one yet and you would like one, I know they still have some out there, but so please patronize them and help them with their project. Want to thank Tom Tobin and James Field and the rest of the school board for inviting me yesterday. My first time ever doing a superintendent of schools interview process. So yesterday I had an opportunity to meet all three of the finalists for the superintendent job. And I can honestly tell you that of the three. I don't think they could go wrong picking any one of the three. It's going to be interesting for me watching to see who they pick because they're very different personalities. So it's going to be interesting to see which personality they pick, but I think we're in good hands with any one of those three candidates that they have. So you have some work to do in selecting the right candidate tonight and then potentially on Friday. We will not have a regular club meeting on March 30th. Instead, we will be doing our Pints for Polio event at Hop Tree from 5 to 6:30. So make sure you mark your calendars. So you don't have to get up on the 30th, and you do have to be at Hop Tree at 5 o'clock. Look, and Hop Tree is donating $1 for every pint or $1 from every entree that is ordered to go to the Polio Plus polio eradication program for Rotary. Rotary International and our district governor are asking clubs and individual Rotarians to consider making a gift to the Disaster Relief Fund. That is all their funds for through this month are being targeted to the Ukraine. Well, with your donation to the Disaster Relief Fund, you can support communities and help rebuild lives during this tragic time. Last week, our club board voted to donate $1,000 from our club fund to the Disaster Relief Fund. But if any individuals would like to make contributions, you can go to your Rotary, My Rotary, and you can click through donate and you can give directly to the Disaster Response Fund. James, you wanted to make an announcement?
Thank you. Oh, by the way, we had asked the students what the #1 criteria we should have when we pick our new superintendent. And to a person, it was make sure they're very good at calling snow days. So that pretty much is the only criteria we're really going to use. We've got like 1 million. Anyway, so just up here to talk about 2 minutes about permanent improvement levy. The first one was how many years ago, Catherine? Maybe you know that? Our first permanent improvement levy? It was a long, I mean, maybe even longer than that. Yeah, so maybe about 40 years or some. Anyway, so what it is, a permanent improvement levy is a levy that all it goes to is to maintain plant and equipment. It does not go to salaries or anything else. And if you think of your house, if you don't maintain it, something bad like a leaky roof all of a sudden starts making everything else go bad. So if you fix it early on, you prevent a lot of down the road maintenance. And that's the reason why we had buildings that were 100 years, 70 years old that we finally replaced. That's why the high school that I think everyone still refers to as the new high school is over 26 years old. It actually looks better than some high schools that were built after that. And so what this levy is, it's 1.5 mils, and it's what's called replacement levy, which means that it has a certain time period. Oh, I'm sorry, renewal, not replacement, renewal. Thank you for keeping me on that. So renewal means no new, it literally, you don't pay any more taxes than you're paying right now. Like I said, it helped fund computer equipment that made us ready for the pandemic. We had Chromebooks for all the kids. And it's all the mundane stuff, the roofs, the plant and equipment and so forth. So that's coming up in May. Would strongly urge, to support it. If you have questions, definitely ask your questions. We want to make sure everyone feels comfortable, and also we will be looking, if you are a supporter, if you would put a sign out, just, make people aware of it. And I'm sorry, who should they? Okay, so afterwards, if you will do a yard sign, we'll take care of that. So, here's a little thing about it. Just to read: district technology, infrastructure, safety and security initiative, school buses, roofing and paving projects, building improvements, district maintenance vehicles. So thank you very much. And it's 5 years. So see you in 5 years.
Thank you, James. So I'm going to do a little bit of delaying here today because our speaker is a little bit delayed. So I'm going to do the Rotobuck raffle now instead of at the end of the day. So get your Rotobuck raffle tickets out now. I know this is unusual. So it's a big payout today. It's $8. The jackpot is just shy of $400 at $392. All right. I'm not in this game, so I will pick a ticket. And the winning ticket is 717322. 717322. Is it you? Oh. 717322. Come on. It was just, oh, there you go. Right, Richard. All right. Okay. There's your $8 and verify that there's a black marble in there. All right, go for it. Oh, no black marble. Okay, and the jackpot will continue to grow. Does anybody have any other announcements for the club at this time? All right. Do you have a presentation? Oh, you have the Gala presentation? Marilyn is here. So, all right, perfect. So, given that Marilyn's here now, I'll get you guys in the mood for talking about the auction. So I'm gonna give you the joke of the day a little early. My boss asked me why I only get sick on work days. I said it must be my weekend immune system. They're getting worse. All right, okay. Marilyn is here to speak about the auction. We did. What's that? No. Oh.
Okay. My apologies. It's terrible when a hungry cat wakes you and your alarm has not gone off. So that's my excuse. And I'm sticking with it. It's been a long time since we've had a gala, 3 years, and a lot has happened in the interim. And I kind of thought that, you know what? Maybe we forgot how to have a gala. So this morning, I'm going to give you a tutorial, and it's called Gala 101. Okay. Or how I learned to spend money, benefit a great cause, and have a really good time. What we have for each member this morning is a blue packet. It looks like this. And inside, on the left side, is a list of the businesses that you have been assigned. Immediately behind that list is a copy of a letter that is being mailed to them on this Friday. On the right side of the packet are a couple of things. The first is a list of just a summary of why we do this and the great things that our Rotary Club has done in the last few years. Behind it is what I call Rotary News, and it has some photographs and a few other things of what we're doing. But we're hoping to have the gala of all galas, something that will be unique, unusual, and will kind of bust through where we've been before. we've always kind of come to close to 75,000. And you know, you need a goal. You just need a goal. And so I'm hoping that this year we can break through that and get to 90,000. 90, that's a big audacious goal, but we hope we're prepared for that. So let's go to the next slide and we'll take a look at what you actually have to do at a gala. Think of all the things that have happened in the last 3 years that we've not had an opportunity. Yeah, I know, Ron, yours is empty. That's because there's so many things there. There should be a list on slide number 2. There we go. Yep. The first thing you've got to do is really pick good causes, and we truly have. We are supporting the Northeast Ohio Gift of Life in their worldwide commitment towards preventing cardiac issues with children. And when we do that, we partner with other people. Last fall, or was it spring, a few of us went to the Chagrin Film Festival. And what we saw there was a film about this group. And we realized just how international in scope they were, because they were documenting a trip to perform surgery at the school in Haiti. And it was a coalition of 3 countries that were doing this. A group from Italy, a group from France, and a group from right here in Akron, Ohio. And it was pretty awesome. It was wonderful. We're undertaking the largest project our club has undertaken in the last 90 years. And that is the $200,000 restoration of the cabin on the green. We built that cabin in 1931. It was the first project of our club, which during the pandemic celebrated its 90th anniversary. Did we have a birthday party? Did we have an anniversary? Heck no. And that's why we're going to do it this year. And then lastly, we're honoring our wonderful Hudson schools and the work that we do there. Everything through kindergarten, all the way through seniors graduating in high school. This is a multi level approach towards supporting our schools. And we need to let the community know that. Let them know that in the last year, during the pandemic, we established a pollinator garden, a big pollinator garden at Ellsworth Hills School, that we continue to supply scholarships for graduating seniors. And that in the past, we've even supported kindergartners in their efforts to put together a map that showed where all the playgrounds were in Hudson. We have exciting and new things for auctions. And in fact, we've actually primed the pump. The last time that we launched this, we actually, last summer, when we were thinking we were going to Camp Manitowoc, we secured over 50 gifts, and we still have those. And some of those are very nice auction items, like the sports car that we traditionally get from Don Sitz. It's already in the bank. Lexus has come through with tickets for 4, with access to the Lexus room for the Guardians this summer. And that room is right behind home plate. It's an incredible experience, and it's a limited experience. As a general fan, you can't walk up to the door and say, I want in this room. You have to have a ticket, and Lexus has given us that. We have a one of a kind, actually one of 4, isn't it 4? One of 3 beautifully made tilt candlestick tables. Beautifully made, signed by the master carpenter. And I'm telling you, this little baby's worth something. It's incredibly pretty. And I'm hoping in Hudson, it will go for a nice price. We have a celebrity chef from one of the local restaurants who is willing to do a dinner in your home for up to 14 guests. And he will cook for you. He will bring a sous chef who's going to help him serve. And it would be a wonderful, wonderful experience. So those are some of the things we already have for the live auction. Wait to see what else comes. Third, have a beautiful venue with indoor and outdoor spaces. And you know, of course, that means nice bars. We'll have 3 of those. But the other thing is that we are expanding our space just a little bit this year, and we'll have an area, more area for people to relax and sit. That's been a problem in the last couple of galas. People have been standing most of the night. And that was particularly true the last time that we had one, and our dear Ed Sogan was on crutches. So we are having a small space set aside with more seating that's right off of where the bidding area is. We encourage people to walk through our bidding area, but we'll have that there as well. Have a great menu, and we've got one. And included in that is the chocolate bomb that the Hilton Garden Inn is known so well for, and a quality back bar. This year, the bar will not be an open bar. It'll be a ticketed bar. We have been a little concerned about liability, and so each attendee will get 2 tickets. And the way that we'll distribute those tickets is that everybody will have a name tag that night. So for those of us who recognize faces, but not always names, we're going to give you a hint. We'll also use the name tags as a way to let people know where they're sitting. Okay, so hopefully there'll be less confusion as we enter the room and try to find where we're going to relax. We need to invite fun and interesting people of all generations, because this is a good party. And lastly, encourage everyone to bring their wallet and their credit card. Let's move to the next. So of course, we're going back to the Hilton Garden Inn. And we have a picture of that right there. And then let's go to the next one. We choose a worthy cause. And as I mentioned before, that scout cabin is the largest project we have undertaken in the last 90 years, and we're well on our way. Now, the third is arrive in style, okay? And you can see some of us have been innovative in how we get there. Okay. So we have Lynn and Richard Nibiolo. Here's a picture of some of the past galas as far as some of the items that have been offered. We generally bring that lobby room with items and tables, and everything's really visible. The website is live. Our tickets, of course, are reflecting the inflation and the supply chain problems and the labor problems. A ticket this year is $125. Okay, let's go. When you host a gala, you open the doors and you let everyone come in, and you put a friendly face right at the front door. And of course, we will be missing Tom Page this year. You invite your friends and your relatives and your neighbors. You invite the brass, okay? And the people who live down the street from you. That's Joe Sheldon right there. He's one of my neighbors in the villas. You have a few politicians in the mix, and we've learned we don't seat them at the same table. Okay. And you don't give your own members a pass just because they're walking with crutches. So one year, Ed and his wife, Mary, showed up in 2018. The next year, Ed had just had surgery on his ankle, and he needed one of those chairs that we had at the front table, which gave us a reason to recognize why we needed to change it up just a little bit. But he showed up. Okay, here we go. Next one. And of course, when you're hosting a gala like this, it's an opportunity to dress up a little bit. Just take a look there. That happens to be Dan Rich wearing his tux, and off to the right, you'll see Joe Zapatowski doing the same. I mean, these guys dress up well. We invite young and old. It's the best chance to bring out your girl. And then, of course, we also emphasize some of the Rotary projects that we have going on. Excuse me. Those were our foreign exchange students, Lucas and Leia. Okay. We invite the partners that we work with. Okay. You can see Gail there with the teachers from the Hudson Service Learning class. And I mean, and we even stoop as low to invite our accountants. Okay. They're known for their personality, right? Okay. We invite the scouts. We know they show up for the pizza. Excuse me. But they're great help that night. Okay. And then of course we have the pretty girls and the beautiful couples. So that's fun to have. And more of our members coming. Okay. And then of course, There's something wrong with John Adams' picture. That is not Sarah, okay? That is not Sarah. You can see that's Jim Lang and his wife, okay? But how fun, okay? And more pictures. And of course, it's a wonderful dinner. And you can see we have a lively auction. And of course, no one does anything without assistance from Ron Strobel, even the auctioneer. Okay, here we go. And when it's all over, you say thanks to the people who helped coordinate it. And I couldn't do it. We couldn't do it, could we, Chris, without the people who come. I need to let you know that the first meeting that we held this year for the Gala committee had 12 people on that Zoom. Some were new members. Some were members in waiting. But we've had 12 people come. So that's why I feel confident in setting a high goal. Okay, but what we need, this is what we really need. We need people to come. We need our own members who have businesses who might be able to afford a table, to buy a table. It's $1,500. We need our members to show up and to invite their friends and their neighbors. We need people to solicit the businesses. And you can take the best example of how to solicit a business from Ron Strobel. The reason he doesn't have anything in his packet is because he has 38 different businesses he calls on. He's our super salesman. And here's how he does it. He knows these people and we don't mail his letters. He hand delivers every single one of them. So it's a personal relationship he's established over many, many years. He walks in, he says, "Hi, I'm from the Rotary Club of Hudson. I hope you'll support us again." And then he doesn't leave. He stays until he gets a commitment from everyone. And they do. They come through for him. So you're going to have a few days in which I urge you to go home and practice what you're going to say when you walk into a business in front of a mirror, because the letters are done. The letters are stuffed in the envelopes thanks to Pat Getz. I think all of you know that Pat is running for public office this fall. She's running for the state Senate seat. And so it's a little inappropriate to send Pat in to talk to someone who might be wanting favors from her in the future. So she did what she could do, which was do something on behind the scenes. There are other people that are similar to that. Nikki is the person who is putting together all of our brochures. Nikki is a person who is doing all of our invitations. She's very creative. So if you're uncomfortable with anyone who is on your list, please let us know. We're also shaking it up a little bit this year. We've got a few things that we've never had before, and we have a plan for something that we think is going to be very, very exciting. James Field is leading a small group of people to approach probably more than 12, but to end up with 12 $100 gift certificates for restaurants throughout the area. Nice restaurants that you'd be proud to take people to. And we're going to be auctioning that, raffling, not auctioning, raffling, because we hope that we'll gain more than $1,200 for that. We think there'll be a great deal of buzz for that. Thanks to Tom Tobin, we also have a certifiable 70-year-old Scotch that we're going to be available. We know it's 70 years old because the company that made it moved during the time period. And they also changed their seal. And we happen to be able to have something that we can say, this is when all of this happened, 1951. So heaven's sakes, how wonderful is that? So if you've got a special occasion coming up, you know, an anniversary or a wedding or something, how fun would that be to pull out a 70-year-old Scotch? We have a 30-year-old port that we have. So if you see a theme here, my goodness, we will be selling booze baskets, as I call them. There'll be a margarita basket, likely a beer basket, a wine basket. The committee always puts together a really nice selection of wines that people can purchase. So like I said, this is going to be a special gala because we're coming back. We are coming back. And so that brings us to sort of the last thing that happens. You go home in style too. You don't just arrive in style. You bid on this lovely car from Don Stitz, and that's what you take home, okay? Does anybody have any questions for me about what it is that we're doing? I would encourage you not to talk to the businesses at the very least until next week. You'll notice that the brochures are not inside of your packets. That's because we had a couple of new people offering endorsements. They will be ready by the weekend. We just had to confirm with everybody that we had the pictures that they wanted, the quotes that they wanted, and so they're just a bit behind. We also will have invitations. I expect everyone to take at least 5 invitations and invite 5 people. Okay, send that invitation to people and that you know are interested in support Rotary. There are a lot of people in this town who do, including a lot of people who are former members. They can come back. There's a reason that they joined Rotary in the first place. They might have found that their life became a little more complicated and it wasn't consistent with what they needed to do now, but they still support us. They still support the values and the ideals that we hold to. So we know that some people will be traveling. Catherine won't be here this year. We also know that Doug McDowell is going to be in Italy. I mean, the best excuse you got is that you're not in this time zone. So anyway, that's what we know. Yes.
Can you use the mic? Here, can some,
It is a 70-year-old certifiable Scotch.
could you repeat his question since he's not on a mic?
Give me the question.
The certifiable 70-year-old Scotch, he's got a certifiable 89-year-old father.
Okay,
The question really wasn't a question. It was a question. It was actually a statement. He said, in addition to a 70-year-old Scotch, the town was willing to donate to the auction. He's also willing to donate an 89-year-old father that he's willing to give up as well. So if you know somebody who's looking for a grandpa to show up at a birthday party or perhaps a luncheon, you have to remember that we have actually had auction items in which we sold lunch with a prominent individual from Hudson. So, I mean, let's just say we get creative when we put together a gala, okay? Yes.
so are we using the app again, the bidding app?
Yes, we are using the GiveSmart app. This is a great way for people to be able to purchase gifts without a paddle. It makes it go so efficiently whenever we run it that way. So what we have is we have an app called GiveSmart. You can approach it actually from the Rotary website, our Rotary website. There's a button that is live that'll take you right in and you can purchase right now your tickets to come.
So someone could be in Italy, even with the time difference, and actually still bid on.
That is correct. They could. They could, and they could watch it. I don't know what time it would be there when we're closing out the auction items, but if there's something they're particularly interested in, they could monitor it. In fact, we opened the auction the Monday before to allow people to, take a preview, read some of the creative descriptions, see some of the video that we have uploaded about our businesses. This website is very robust. Now, I want to warn you that most of the content that is put on that website is created by yours truly. So get me those items early, because if I'm loading them on the Sunday before, who knows what I'm going to say about these things, okay? There is no filter sometimes, if you know what I mean. I like to have fun with titles. We had the Breakfast Club last time that included breakfast from 3 different places. It was Perkins, it was the Blue Door in Cuyahoga Falls, and it also was Johnny's. So, when you think about it, we have a lot of choices for some really wonderful, wonderful things. Mimi's got a question or a comment for me.
That should do it. I just wanted to clarify, because it's not coming through real clearly,
Mhm.
whether we're having a what did you say? A 51-year-old Scott?
71-year-old
71
Scotch.
Oh, it's
Whiskey.
something you drink.
It is something to.
I thought maybe it
drink.
was a Scott.
Oh, you.
I was gonna ask if a kilt
Oh my
came
gosh.
with it.
No, the only Scott that I really know would have been 74 this year. And unfortunately, he passed away 10 years ago. So, no, it is not a Scott. It is Scotch liquor, Scotch whiskey. And unfortunately, I'm not a connoisseur, so I really don't remember the name. I just know that I did have it appraised by someone who is knowledgeable in the business. He said a minimum of $200 for that, and that was 3 years ago. So anyway, I've been carefully protecting it in my shielded wine cabinet. It has not seen the light of day. I thought if any of my children, my grown sons saw it there, it just might disappear, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, if Tom is donating it, you may want to just check that it's full.
Yeah.
It is. It was my father-in-law's. So what about the Joe Boisel kissing booth? That we getting the.
Are you talking about the photo booth? He's- Actually, we will not be having a photo booth. I need to reinforce the date. It is May 20th. May 20th. It's a Friday night. It's after Mother's Day. It's before graduation, May 20th. And that we are going to be at the Hilton Garden Inn, which is right up in that next door neighborhood to the north called Twinsburg. Free parking in the back, a drop off in the back. It's a lovely, easily accessible facility. And we're going to have, like I said before, a little more seating because quite frankly, I need it too. Okay, so we've got Jay raising his hand in the back. I do.
Yeah, so
Actually,
can you repeat the question since he wasn't on?
There is a firm date for the receipt of gifts. If you look on the letters that are included on behind your list of people, actually what you have is a copy of the letter plus a copy of the donation. We all know that everyone can't find it when we walk in. Our firm donation, we would like them in by May 5th. May 5th. That gives me a full week or a couple of weeks to get them loaded. Like I said, there always is a rush at the end. We've got a lot we need to do. I need to particularly thank some people who are very helpful on this. Dan Philburn gives up the third bay in his garage to hold everything that we have. He's also my photographer, and he doesn't bristle when I said, I think we could do a little better on this picture. He's great. He's absolutely great. And I love working with Dan.
Marilyn, question. So would it be possible to put the full list of the organizations we're asking so that maybe we could take a look and see if there's one that's not on there that we might want to?
You know that
approach?
list is over 240 names long. Okay, there are a few names that have no one assigned. So in the future, I'm going to be having that list of the ones that are not assigned at the meeting, so that if you feel particularly adventurous in this, you can take a few.
I'm just
offline.
thinking maybe like a PDF or something.
Yeah,
on
I
our
can
website. Yeah.
distribute a PDF that shows the list of everyone, but it is huge. And believe it or not, some of these businesses respond without having anyone call on them. We're going to Petiti's Gardens. We're going to Target. We're going to Costco. We're going to Heinz. We're going to all of the restaurants and bars here in town, including downtown 140. Okay, we're hoping for nice experiences. This is what Window sells. People want an experience. They don't need another lawnmower. Okay, they don't need another copier unless their copier just broke last week. But the reality is many people want a dining out experience, a theater experience. We're going to the Akron Civic Theater. We're going to Weathervane. We're going to Port House. We're going to Apollo's Fire. We're going to Cleveland Orchestra. We're going to the Cuyahoga Valley Railroad. They've already given us tickets to one of the St. Lucie cars. Like I said, we've primed the pump here. We're not starting from scratch. We already have 50 things in the bag, and that's a nice place to be. Okay, that list of 200 is outside of that 50. So, it's really, we're on our way. The real crunch time is April. It really is. Okay, so the next time that we'll be talking about this, we'll be giving you updates starting the first meeting in April, and you'll hear from me where we are. I'm not a person who likes to scold, but I will talk to people individually. Okay, so bring me things, bring us nice things, and recognize that our businesses not all have fully recovered. Okay, we're still coming out of a pandemic. If they tell you that this is not the year, it's thank you, and maybe next year. We want them to know that this is our 36th gala, and we've come a long way from the Tadaro Party Center over on Old Rowdy, whatever it is, Riverview or Akron Peninsula Road, over down in that area in the valley.
So,
This is a nice event. We kind of dress up, we have a good party. Yes.
so a couple of things. One is if one of the people you're approaching is a grocery store, during the pandemic, they've had the best year they've ever had. So don't feel shy about going to grocery stores. The other thing is, and I'm thinking for myself too, if you want to buy tickets for friends, you could say, it feels a little steep, but think about this. We are spending far less on our Rotary dues because of the cost of the venue is free, basically. And so we're just paying for the incremental costs that are associated. So whereas in past years, a lot of your dues would have gone to the venue that we were at, you can now direct those dues to maybe inviting a couple friends to the gala.
That's a really good point. I hadn't thought of that one. My goodness. The reality is this is our largest fundraiser of the year. We do a fundraiser in the fall, but it is nothing in comparison to what this one is. This one is public. When this is completed, we will take a full page ad in the hub and we will thank everyone who contributed to us. And we have sponsors. And the good thing is we have a $5,000 commitment from colleague. Again, thank you to Jim Lang and the relationship that he's established there. Akron Children's is coming through again for $1,500. And so we're working on this. Fidelity will come through again. We have verbal commitments from some of these folks. We're just waiting to see the checks arrive. This is I call it a three-legged stool. We have sponsors, we have people who come and bid at the auction, and we have programs and a few other things that bring in smaller amounts. But, all in all, we're able to pull this off because of you, because of your efforts, because of the things you do, and because you believe in what it is that we're doing here. So anyway, with that, I'm going to kind of wrap it up a little bit unless there are other questions or comments. Like I said, we had 12 members attend the very first meeting of the gala, some people who had never come before. So there's a lot of interest, and I think people understand the urgency. We've not stopped giving away the scholarships. We've continued to support the people we've supported for years. And it's because of people who've gone before us and had good galas. So let's have a good gala this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Marilyn, for your leadership on this event. I'm going to try something different this year. So I'm going to challenge the club board to join me in putting together a bourbon basket. So I know not everybody drinks bourbon, but that's the popular drink right now. So I will contribute the first bottle, and I will make sure that it's at least a $75 bottle or better. But if anybody else is interested, I'm not. Okay, Maryland's got Maker's Mark, so we've got a couple. But if you're interested in helping with that, please see me after the meeting, and we'll see what we can do about putting together a bourbon basket. For another institution that I'm very close to, we put together a bourbon basket for our auction last year. We actually got so much bourbon donated, we ended up splitting it into 3 baskets, and we took in over $3,000 for the 3 bourbon baskets. So it was was a very popular item, especially for the guys. Let's see what we can do here in Rotary. The last thing I want to leave you with today before we wrap up the meeting, we're in the final, I won't say the final stretch, but we are turning the back half of the stretch on the Scout Cabin project. Kelly, do we have a total of approximately where we're at? About 100, we are currently at about $120,000. That so we're down, we're about 80,000 to go to finish up that campaign. It is time to start thinking about what our next big project is. Because as we as we close out the Scout Cabin project, it's time to start thinking about what we want to do for our next one. And actually, I would challenge the club that I think this is where we want to spend a majority of our funds on is big projects. So it's time to start thinking about what that next one is. I'm going to share with you some of those that when we did the strategic plans, what some of those ones that were not at the top of the list. McDowell School Playground was one of them. That's it. Is that done already? All right, checked off. Recreation facility for youth and seniors. So that could be anywhere or anything. More pollinator gardens. We'd have to find somebody that wants to maintain them though. Student mental health support programs, teacher youth organization leadership programs, and climate change projects. So I think we'd have to get those narrowed down a little bit, but those are some ideas. We're open to pretty much anything. So if you have an idea, please bring it to myself or to a board member or Father Joe as we go in probably into his term starting in July. We need to start figuring out what that next big project is because we're going to need that for next year's gala and starting moving forward as well. Anything further from the group? We're going to give you a few minutes back this morning, seeing as how you were robbed of minutes on Sunday morning, and we are adjourned. What's that?